right, everybody, it is that time again. That's right, we are coming into October, so today we are going to take a look at the best products of Sword and Shield in September. That's right, we're going to take a look back through the month to see which have retained those positions from August, and are there any changes? That's the biggest question that we have going forward. Now, there's something I want to tell you that I'm going to change, but it's not going to happen until January 2023 on this list. And that is, I'm going to make this list, instead of a best products of Sword and Shield, I'm going to translate this into the best product of the last 3 years. Why am I doing this? Because I feel that some of these sets, as they get older, they're not going to get any kind of reprints. They're going to go out of rotation. And when that happens, they may stay on this list indefinitely, as long as that they're an opportunity. Why is that kind of not a good thing? Well, because I want to see different products come in here. I want to see transitions. I want to see what's the best current product so you guys can make good financial decisions if you're looking at the investment opportunities in Pokemon. And if you're sitting there looking at something that's 5 years old and out of print compared to something that's in print, you can definitely get a really big discrepancy over time. And I don't want that to happen. I want this list to be fluid and moving and complete, and always doing transitions so that you guys can keep up to date with what's the better products or what's doing the best right now. So once again, as of January 2023, when of course Sword and Shield base set becomes 3 years old, I will remove that one from the list, and new products will fill any of the spots that they have open. If there are any, with Evolving Skies making the runs that it has, it may not even be on the list. But I still don't want to have that continue on for 5, 6, 7 years of the same products on this list. So once again, once we get to these points where they hit 3 years, we will remove them, and then we will move on to the newer products that are still in rotation, still available, and still being used out there in the Pokemon TCG. So, with that being said, if you do like this kind of information, want to continue to see this, be sure you hit that subscribe so you know when this information comes forward. And number 2, hit that like button, guys. It's really important that you do that before you leave. It helps us out a ton to keep moving on this algorithm. So, without further ado, let me jump down to the other screen. And here we go, guys. We're going to get right into it with the first product, which is going to be a booster box. So, which booster box is still holding the #1 spot in Sword and Shield? Well, a lot of people are probably questioning whether Evolving Skies has had enough force to finally get above the Sword and Shield base set. And the answer to that question is not yet. That's right. The Sword and Shield base set actually went up to $244 from $239 last month. That's a $5 increase in your investment at this point. And with that being said, where is Evolving Skies? Well, Evolving Skies is sitting at about $216. Still not bad for a modern booster box in today's market. That booster box is creeping closer. But with a now confirmed reprint of Evolving Skies coming here in, sounds like this winter or early spring, we do know that this may stagnate that growth. Who knows at what point it will stop? Will it make it to the #1 spot on the list before it does get a reprint? We will see. But with that being said, Sword and Shield base set still remaining at that #1 spot with $244, $5 increase from last month. Great to see that thing still continuing to move in that upward direction. Next item we got coming up here is going to be the holiday set ETBs. That's right. Holiday set ETBs last month, Champion's Path had that #1 spot at $104. Did any of the other holiday sets come up and take that spot? Not yet. We're still sitting at $105 on this Champion's Path ETB. That's a $1 increase from last month. This ETB actually had a better gain than that, but then there was a reprint scare. If everybody was watching the Pokemon TCG, we were having a reprint scare about 2 weeks ago, and it actually drove this product downward quite a bit, actually almost $10 down from that point. So we were almost to $100 again on this ETB because a distributor put up for sale Champion's Path ETBs. Granted, well above market price for what they would typically sell them for, but nevertheless, they did have them up, which put up the thought that there were going to be a reprint of this product, drove pricing down, and then it came to find out that this was just backup stock that they had laying around that they decided to sell out and get it out of their warehouse, and the scare was just that. There is no reprint coming, guys. We are still safe from a Champion's Path reprint if that's an investment idea you have. And, of course, that's a good thing for that part. Partially, it's a bad thing. I really kind of wanted to see one more reprint of this to be able to capture some more of this. That triple Charizard threat in this set make it a fantastic buy. But once again, we will be holding out. I talked to my distributor when this reprint threat came out and asked if it was true. He said no, there was no reprint, and no, he does not think that there will be one at this point. He was hoping also that they would get one because they do have a lot of demand for this set, and it has not come through. They were hoping another Hidden Fates where they would throw one out right at the end. Who knows? Maybe there's still a possibility, but his hopes are running out on it actually happening. And if he's telling me that, I'm thinking we're probably in dire straits for one. Next product I got here is going to be our regular ETB. Now, Rebels Clash held that spot at $110. Were there any ETBs that crawled their way up to that point in the Sword and Shield era? And the answer to that is no. None of the ETBs even came close. Even the next contender, which is going to be your Evolving Skies ETB at the time, which is about $78, is now down under 50 due to the massive amount of reprints on ETBs. Costco ETBs just completely drowned out their chances of coming up and clawing their way up to that position. So Rebels Clash is going to hold the #1 position in that product category, and it also had an increase up to $118, which is an $8 increase from last month, which was at $110. So once again, another product that's holding its position and going up in a good number. Next one we got coming up here is going to be the Pokemon Center ETB. Of course, we have Evolving Skies is holding that #1 position at $106 last month. Didn't manage to hold it. Celebrations crawled up to $108. So did it take the position? Did it crawl over Evolving Skies? No, Evolving Skies came back even stronger at $124 this month, meaning it pushed up $18 from last month on either one of those two ETBs from the Pokemon Center exclusive items, and holding that #1 position over Celebrations Pokemon Center exclusive ETB. Will that continue next month? We will see. This is kind of fun. This list gets kind of exciting when you look at the numbers and how close it becomes like a horse race on some of these. That, hey, this one kind of crossed over, but nope, this one decided to push up a little bit further. So it's just kind of interesting to continue to watch this, and I will continue to update you in this fashion, which is great to just hear these numbers kind of laddering their way up to see who can maintain that #1 position from month to month. Next one I got here is going to be pre-release kits. That's right, pre-release kits are always released on a standard set of the Pokemon TCG. So there are quite a few of them out there in the Sword and Shield era. But today, holding that #1 position, continuing from last month, is going to be that Vivid Voltage pre-release kit. That's right. It held its position. It's at $46 now compared to $50. That's a $4 decrease, but it's still maintaining well above any of the other sets. The closest contender is going to be the Darkness Ablaze one, which is sitting there at about $32. So there's still quite a discrepancy between the two, but Darkness Ablaze has actually moved upwards while Vivid Voltage moved down. Does that mean very much? No, I think these pre-release kits is going to come down to Vivid Voltage holding that position because of that pre-release Charizard availability inside of there. That's the reason that I purchased quite a few of these. There's just that pre-release Charizard chance inside of there makes it that much better than everybody else. And I think that that's going to continue until another one of these pre-release kits has a Charizard in them. I'm guessing we will probably see that again in Scarlet and Violet. Will Vivid Voltage still be on the list at that point when one is released? Who knows? It's just all at the Pokemon Center at this, or Pokemon International at this point, at what gets released when. So it'd be interesting to see if there's another kit that will contend with Vivid Voltage with a pre-release Charizard. Next one we got on here is a relatively new item, which is still going to be that built-in battle box. Granted, this box has only been out for about a year now, and is it really a great item to actually be testing on here? Probably not, but I still like to see how each one of these sets contends with each other as they come out. So Evolving Skies, of course, is going to hold that #1 position. It actually had a decrease from $67 down to $64 from last month, but it still maintains that position pretty easily. It's the first one. It's Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies, of course, a huge seller. Double whammy on that one. So it's holding its position really well up there. It's still running quite a bit above any of the other ones. If I remember right, I think the closest contender was just above MSRP when they get released, which was like $1 above it. So once again, this Build and Battle box is still holding strong with Evolving Skies. Next one we have coming up here is going to be tins. So last month, Lance's Charizard tin from Celebrations was the holder of the #1 position. Now, someone asked me how I got this on tins, and basically the only way that I've been able to decipher the tins is to take their MSRP price and then do percentage of how much they're above it. The Lance's Charizard tin is the one that holds that position because of it has the highest percentage gain. Last month it was at $43, and this is the $34.99 tin. It was at $43 last month. This month it's actually up to $55, and that $55 number came. It's really hard to find this particular tin, which is why I think it's doing so well comparatively to most tins. But at $55, that was actually an average. There was a sale for it on TCG Player for $80, and then there was actually an eBay sale of $45. So I kind of went and just went with $55 because there was two sales actually on eBay. Looking at my notes, there was two sales on eBay for around $45 to $46, and then there was one sale on TCG Player at $80. I put $55 because it was an average of like $54.80. So thus, that's why I came up with that number. Kept it at that point. So we have a $12 increase from the previous month. Tins are really difficult because there is a lot of fluctuation on them. So these ones are definitely probably the most difficult item on this list to really pin down for what's going to be the #1 tin. But currently this Lance's Charizard tin is going to carry over from last month and not give up its position. Now here we have a new category. Now this is one that I added in from last month. This was not on there and it was requested, was mini tins. That's right, these mini tins show up a lot of times in holiday sets, but we also get random ones throughout the year a lot of times with just randomly placed out there. You know, Galarian tins and all those other ones come up. So what I did is I went through and looked at all the current tins out there that are out there in the last 3 years that have been released. And the #1 is going to be the Kanto Region Celebrations tin. Now this one retailed at $8.99 when it came out. It is currently going for $22.70. Once again, this is and it was $19 last month. That's a $3 increase from the month over. Now, once again, I did the same kind of process on this. I went by MSRP, I went by current sales, and it gave me a percentage gain. Whoever was the highest percentage gains out of all of the different sets was the one I put on this list. So once again, the Celebrations Kanto region, of course, if you don't know which one it is, it'll be next to me over here, of course, on the screen for you to check out. This is going to be the one with, of course, Pikachu, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charizard or Charmander on it. And this is actually the #1 mini tin. Next one we're going to pull up here is going to be V-Box Collection. Once again, the Sword and Shield base set Toxtricity V-Box was last month's. Will it maintain its position? The answer is yes, and it actually went up in price from $75 to $81. That's a $6 increase from last month. Once again, there were a couple more sales of this box. So we've been seeing a little bit more rollover. Previously, there was really no sales to speak of in the last couple months. And all of a sudden, in the last month, there's been a few sales of this on both eBay and TCG Player. Great opportunity to get another little feeler for where it is in the market, which now we're seeing about a $6 increase on that product. Once again, V-Boxes are determined by the retail price of or MSRP price of it, and then the current value of it to give me a percentage gain, which thus puts it on this list where it's at right now. Next one we got is going to be the collection chest. Once again, last month was the Sword and Shield base set Spring of 2020 collection chest. This thing retails out at $24.99, which is good because that means they all start out consistently when it comes down to it. Makes it a little bit easier for me on this one. What are we looking at right now? Well, we're looking at $63 for this particular tin. I don't know why this one's jumped so high. That's a $16 gain from last month for $47. But hey, people are starting to purchase this tin. People are really seeming to purchase it consistently because we have seen a total of 12 sales this month, which means on eBay and on TCG Player, it has been moving. Last month, we had a total of 3 sales on it. So whatever reason, people are now moving back into them Sword and Shield era items. They're starting to purchase them, starting to roll them through because they know that they're going out of print. They know that the end of Sword and Shield's happening here with Scarlet and Violet here coming out in the beginning of next year. So maybe we might see some more movement on some of that Sword and Shield Rebel Clash era stuff. We'll see as the list continues to move forward. Next one we're going to put up here is going to be the 3-pack blisters. Now this one, guys, we have a change. That's right, we have a new changing of the guard. Previously, last month, we had Vivid Voltage on here, was the #1 spot. And now we have the Sword and Shield base set Galarian Ponyta 3-pack blister. That's right, this one has finally popped above the Vivid Voltage, not by much, guys. I'm talking a total of 70 cents. That's right, this one popped up about $2 to push over the Vivid Voltage one by 70 cents. So we are looking at a $39 last month. The Vivid Voltage one was $39. That's a 0% change. Once again, Vivid Voltage kind of went down just a little bit, and the Sword and Shield popped up just a little bit, and thus you get a little bit of a lead change here. So Sword and Shield is going to put another notch on their belt as they kick over this one in the 3-pack blister department. Next one we're going to pull up here is going to be the Premium Collection boxes. That's right, this is one of those things that's usually in usually they're typically in a holiday set, so like the Marnie boxes. We also see them in Shining Fates with the Toxtricity and the Crobat boxes. We've also seen them with the Evolving Skies, the Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon boxes. These are all premium collection boxes, and I'm counting into this system. This is what I'm looking at when I'm going through this. Now, Vivid Voltage is going to continue to hold this spot with one of these boxes that, like I said, I had not seen it until I started doing this list, which is the fun thing about this list, right, guys? You get to see sometimes some new products when you start really digging into what you're looking for. And this is going to be the Galar Sidekick or Premium Collection box. This one had a really cool set with, of course, the starters from Sword and Shield inside of it. This box retailed at $50. It is currently selling at $148, but that is a decrease of $12 from last month, which was at $160. So it has gone down a little bit, but it's still blowing all the other premium collections right out of the water. Who knows what may happen as time goes on. There's some really cool premium collections, especially that Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon. We did get a reprint of that. That box was doing really well until we saw a reprint of those show up at our local Walmarts and Targets, thus driving that price down a little bit again. So that horse race antics again. This one kind of came down, lost some ground, but so did its contenders. So once again, they did not move closer together because of the fact that one lost stamina and one lost because it got reprints. Last product on the list, that's right, the final one that we're looking at. And the reason this one's really on here is because we do have another one of these coming out. We have a previous one out there before, and it's going to be kind of curious to see how this continues to roll forward as time moves on, as more and more of these premium collections kind of show up. Is going to be the Ultra Premium Collection. That's right. This one right here, the Celebrations Ultra Premium Collection, is going to hold that spot. Last month, it was at $355. To this month, it's at $356. That's a $1 increase from month over month. Original MSRP, of course, on this was $119.99. This product is still continuing to hold ground. We do have the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection box, but it does sound like we have a lot more print on that one. So do I think that it'll catch the Celebrations ones? Probably not, but the one that I've been seeing really high sales on is going to be the Arceus Ultra Premium Collection that's coming up also. Kind of a hidden one. A lot of people have not seen this one. It was kind of snuck out there by GameStop, and some people got it, some people did not. So once again, this is the next one that we got coming up here is the Ultra Premium Collection from Celebrations that is continuing to hold that #1 spot. When here at the end of the month, the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection gets released, we may see some changes. We may see this one go up. We may see this one go down. We may see that Charizard make a run for it. We may not. We may see that Charizard fall out as we move forward. Right now, that Charizard one is sitting at about $250 right now is what I'm seeing on sales, which I think is crazy. Do I think it's going to hold that pricing after release? No, I think we're going to see a retraction on that. So I wouldn't sit there and go jumping on the pre-orders for that at $250. I think that that's just way too high on that product, especially this early out. And with another wave already being announced in December. So we are getting 2 waves of that product as of right now. And there's nothing stopping them from reprinting that product again and again and again. Because the only cards that are in there this time are simply cardboard cards. There's no metal cards. That was always the thing with the Ultra Premium Collection for Celebrations, is those metal cards made it very difficult for Pokemon to reprint again and again and again, because they're using an outside source to produce those, and they have to order probably a certain quantity in order to do that reprint. Thus, it always kind of slows them down from doing so. So, just keep that in mind when it comes down to that Charizard Premium Collection box. There's nothing stopping them from reprinting that. That could be reprinted every month for the next 6 months, and there's nothing you can do to stop them. Now, let's go ahead and take a recount of where we are at with the listing right now. Which sets have the most products on the list? First one we got here is going to be the Sword and Shield base set. There are currently 4 of them. That is an increase of 1 from last month. Celebrations has got 3 compared to last month's 2, but I'm going to put an asterisk on that one, because the only reason it got an increase is because we added a new product to the list. So I'd be kind of curious to see if Celebrations will maintain at 3. Next one we got here is Vivid Voltage with 2. It's now dropped down equal with Evolving Skies, because it lost 1 last month and gave it to Sword and Shield with that 3-pack blister. Next one we got on here is Evolving Skies with 2. Champion's Path holding with 1, and finishing it out with Rebel Clash with 1 also. So no changes on the last 3. Once again, guys, hopefully this is some good information. Hopefully this is kind of fun to see the changes and what's happening in this. Of course, this is a little bit longer video, just as always. But guys, the information on here is really important, or really good information for you to see what's happening in the last 3 years, or at least in Evolving Skies or Sword and Shield right now when it comes down to it. So if this information is good and is helpful for you, of course, as always, hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and we will also have you hit that like button, guys. It's important you hit that like button before you leave, especially if you made it this far into the video. It helps us out a ton. Just an announcement, on Wednesday we will be having Jake from Pokenomics joining us on our Choose Your Path series. Once again, a fun series where you can check out all of the niche markets in the Pokemon TCG, and Jake has always got some great information for you guys, and of course he brings it once again on this Choose Your Path episode. So definitely join us for the premiere on that. On Wednesday, I will put that up probably the day before for the time frame. And, of course, hopefully Jake can be in the comments. I will try and be in the comments also, so that we can have some discussion while we're watching the video. Other than this, if you do like this kind of information, be sure you check out these 2 videos over here. I'll put them up for you afterwards. And we will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.